All right, light up those pumpkins, everybody, because we are live now. Let's see who else is awake and alive out there tonight. Y'all know what time it is. That's right, everybody. Happy Michael Myers Monday, you guys. Welcome to this week's live stream. Hope you guys are doing well this week. Happy Michael Myers Monday. I see the live chat is already coming alive tonight. Good to see a lot of familiar names have already shown up in here, like Chad Francis, our friend, and Halloween Ends updates, of course. Ken is here, Ken Zurish. Mike Chunky Jordy's here. Andromeda's here. Man, we got the whole crew here. NC Voorhees is here. Eliza's here. Larry is here. Let's see. We got Tim Leo's here. Patrick Ring, what's up, man? Ariel's here. All right, we got a good crowd filtering in here today. Good to see everybody. Keith is here as well, I see. Awesome. Keith says, if Christopher Nelson stops by, Christopher, we need Two Heads episode soon. Yes, that was pretty awesome last week. We did have a special surprise guest in the chat room when Mr. Christopher Nelson dropped in last week. That was a real treat for us. What's up, Young Major? Good to see you. Hunter Coleman's here as well. Awesome. Good time, guys. Good time to be here. We got not a whole lot of news tonight. It's not going to be a long night. It's kind of a quiet week for Halloween Ends news, as you know. Filming wrapped, so they've just wrapped. They've just started editing. Not a whole lot to report on this week, so I figured it'd be a good time to talk about a few of the new cast members that we know are going to be a part of this film, and we're going to be talking about that in just a little bit. And some of these cast members, I mean, who knows how big of a role they're going to have. We can't talk too much about them right now because they haven't been officially announced. But we do know from various social media posts and comments here and there in the last few weeks that some of these people we're going to be talking about did participate in filming and are in the film. So we're going to be talking about them. And there's a few other little merch drop news stories we're going to talk about. And just a few other little recap things we'll get into. And, of course, we're going to do Triple M shout-outs at the end of the broadcast. So be sure you stick around for that. And yeah, we don't have a whole lot to report on, so it's going to be a loose show tonight. I'm going to try to take my time a little bit. Probably still won't be on here more than about an hour or so. But definitely want to hear from you guys. And like I said, the live chat is lighting up right now, and I love to see that. Brad has checked in now as well, I see. Awesome. Yeah, don't be shy. Drop us comments if you happen to be watching this on a replay after it's live. Drop us comments down below on anything we discuss here. We'd love to hear from you. We are going to go ahead and get into it right now, if you don't mind. And as you know, usually I like to do a... sorry, you probably can't hear me too good when I'm not facing the mic. You know, I like to do these show and tells to kick off the live shows whenever possible. And sometimes it's something new for my collection. Sometimes it's something new that we have in stock, which is also always got to get one or two from my own collection as well. And that's the case this week. So I've talked about these guys before, but I've got some proper showcase video to premiere for you guys tonight. But what I want to show you tonight, and what I want to talk about, and we do have these in stock right now. You can purchase them online, HalloweenDailyNews.com/shop. You can find these guys $18 a piece. I did think to put the links down below before we started this time. So you'll be able to find the links to purchase them directly down below. And these come right from us. These are made by Super 7. These are the officially licensed Halloween 2 Michael Myers and Laurie Strode 3 3/4 inch reaction figures. They are reaction figures because they're like the old classic Kenner Star Wars G.I. Joe action figures of the 80s, and but they are a redo, a flashback version, a retro version. That's the reaction of it all. These guys were released last year, and we got them in stock for the first time last year. Michael was released first, followed by Laurie soon after. And if you'll remember, many years ago, Super 7, in the very first horror wave, I believe it was, of reaction figures, they released a Michael Myers. I've got that one unpackaged upstairs. I brought it down here when I first got this guy and unpackaged him and brought him down here for one of these Monday nights. And I don't have the original one down here tonight to do a comparison. I'll do that at another time. But it is quite different, the look and the detail of the figures. Now, again, these, as I've said many times, the purpose of these are not to be super screen accurate. They're to capture that warm retro feel of the old school, like I said, the old school Kenner Star Wars figures with not too much articulation, not too much detail either in the early days, but it didn't matter because they were officially licensed figures from our favorite movies, and there weren't many of them. The same scale, a lot of us collected G.I. Joe figures back in the day. Now, of course, Super 7 is doing every pop culture icon you can imagine in this, adding them to this line. And so I love that for the 40th anniversary of Halloween 2 last year, they released the Michael and Laurie H2 reactions. Now, again, we do have them in stock right now. Just real quickly, my comments on the packaging. Not too much to it, but I love it. I mean, they got the exact same packaging. It's just Michael's name is on his and Laurie's name is on hers. So, they could have changed it up, but I don't mind because, as you guys know, I love that image. I use it for our Facebook page profile photo. I love this image. I use it for our Twitter account profile photo. I love the pumpkin skull. I've used it on so many things over the years. It's one of the most iconic images of this franchise, and I absolutely love it. So I love the packaging. You can see on the back. Anyway, you're going to get a much better look at these guys right here. I'm going to go ahead and play this video. This is some premiere footage here for you. I don't have an interview to drop tonight, an interview preview, but I do like to give you guys something a little bit new each time whenever I can. So, I'm going to play this video. It's really short. It's less than 3 minutes long. But this will show you the packaging up close in some quality HD video. And then the unpackaged, unboxed figures as well. And you'll get a close-up look at them. So check them out. And if you like what you see, and if you're just a sucker for the action figures like I am. I mean, last week I was talking about the NECA Ultimate Michael, which is so beautiful and awesome. These guys are an entirely different thing, but it goes along with my love of just the action figures and the overall feel for it. And, I mean, I love that they did Laurie finally. I want to see more characters. I'm hoping they can do a Loomis in this line, in this reaction line for H2. And since they're doing H2, I'm really hoping this year, being the 40th anniversary of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, that we get some Silver Shamrock trick-or-treaters in this line. They were just announced in another line I'm going to talk about in just a few minutes, but pause that thought for a minute. All right, here, I'm going to premiere this video and take a breath here while it's playing, and then I'll be back on here to talk about our next item. Check it out. This is the Michael Myers and Laurie Strode reaction figures by Super 7. And here they are. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. I actually shot that just earlier this evening. But here they are down here, unboxed, so I can play with them and pose them and photograph them and what have you. And again, I'll do another video where it's a direct comparison with this Michael and his predecessor in the reaction line, but it is a different sculpt altogether. You can see, I mean, he's got his 6 uh, bullet wounds bleeding from the chest. He comes with uh, a lot of different weapon accessories. I've got him holding his hammer that he uses in H2, as well as his scalpel that he uses in H2. He also comes with a traditional butcher knife as well. And then, of course, Lori, she's got this look of shock on her face, which I like. And this, you're not going to be able to see it as well right here. I'm trying to let the autofocus focus in on her a little bit. But on that video, you can see the detail that they did go to with the Lori figure. I really do appreciate. I mean, the color and design pattern on her hospital gown, the placement of her bandages, her wounds, and of course her panic and shock face, which she is in most of that film. Granted. Anyway, if you are a collector of the Myers figures like I am, you probably already own those. But let me know what you think if you do own them. Like I said, we sell them, but I have to own 2 for myself because I did make that mistake with that first one that was released all those years ago, and they only did 1 run of it. You know that? That was the only one in that original. I think it was the first wave of horror Super 7 figures, horror reaction figures. I mean, I believe it was the very first horror wave. They had Jason, Freddy, I think Pinhead, Michael, maybe Ghostface was part of that, but it was a great line, and Michael was part of it, and I got the figure, and I should have gotten 2, stupidly, because I do like to open my figures, most of them. I like to open most of my collectibles because I do. I like to let them come out and breathe and put them on display and see them. And I don't really plan on reselling them, so that's the other thing too. I always figure, the main reason to keep them boxed is for the resale value, and I'm not really concerned with that so much. I'm buying them for my own self, and I'm gonna probably be buried with them all too. So, but in this case, with these, they are affordable and they are kind of unique in that the packaging is part of what is special about this line, especially that cool retro style packaging. So I did have to have some to display in the packaging and preserve that beautiful packaging, and then these that I can play with and let out to play and roam around. All right. Did you guys see this? This is a quick little merch notice here. Just want to let you guys know about. You guys know I love some Halloween 3. Yes, Ariel says I also pre-ordered the 3.5 Michael and Lori figures and Linda figures from Fright Rags. Yeah, they put out Linda, Lori, and Michael last year, but they have still not arrived. I pre-ordered them too, and they have been seriously delayed. Have you heard anything about that? Any of you guys? Um, Speaking of Fright Rags, I'm about to give them a free plug right here for their H3 pint glasses. But yeah, they released their own version of Halloween '78. Basically, their version of the reaction figures, those retro styled 3.5 inch, 3 and 3/4 inch action figures, and they were starting with Michael Myers, Laurie Strode, and Linda from Halloween '78. And yeah, I ordered two of each of those too. Pre-ordered them last summer, I believe it was. In any case, this was actually came out before last. This was over a week ago, and I didn't get a chance to let you guys know about it. These glasses actually sold out when Fright Rags put them up for sale. These new officially licensed Halloween Season of the Witch pint glasses. They're again kind of a throwback to when you used to get these collector glasses from various movie tie-ins over the years. That's what this uh, is meant to invoke. And you see, you got Tom Atkins as Chalice there, holding one of the masks on the phone, screaming, "Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!" You got all three of the masks represented with three trick or treaters, all grabbing their heads. Oh no! Oh no! Don't watch the commercial. And with, of course, the looming silver shamrock logo behind them there, and then that great image from the classic poster. It doesn't really represent the movie itself very well, but hey, neither does the skull jack-o'-lantern or the original '78 poster of the knife. I mean, I guess the knife in the '78 poster represents it pretty well as can be. But anyway, the point is, it's a badass look. That crazy witch-looking face that goes up to the Halloween Season of the Witch title treatment on there. So these 16-ounce pint glasses with these wraparound Halloween 3 images, they completely sold out when Fright Rags first put them up for order. So they're out, but they are now, as of today, still taking pre-orders, and these pre-orders will now ship in May. So if you're a H3 fanatic, there you go. Go pick them up from Fright Rags. Okay, this is good. It looks like let's pause this for just a second because um, yes, Patrick has Fright Rags update. I did not see this, so thank you for sharing this. He says that the Fright Rags gave an update on the figure, saying we have been told by the factory that production should be complete in early March, and the shipment will be ready by mid March. So there we go. If you're like me and some of these guys, and you pre-ordered your Fright Rags, again they can't use the term reaction, but they're that same scale and that same idea, that vintage feel, and I'm very excited to get those. And again, I did specifically order two of each specifically so that I could open one of each of the figures. And once I get mine, I'll be doing a showcase video and a good show and tell here on one of these Michael Myers Monday Live broadcasts at that time. Um, let's see here. Tristan Quarter says, "Damn, those are dope." Ken says, "Great looking cups." Yep. Larry says, "I was born in '82, the year H3 came out." Awesome, man. Very cool. Yes, this is H3's 40th anniversary year. We're going to be talking a lot about H3 as in the coming weeks and months for sure. Jordy says, "Try watching when you are 7 and don't want to see kids being killed when you can't wear masks." Yeah, yeah, that I did not see H3 at that young of an age to where it would have scarred my trick or treating experience. Because yeah, had I seen it at too impressionable of an age, it definitely probably would have kept me from enjoying Halloween as much as I did as a kid. All right. Speaking of Halloween 3, another cool merch drop. This one from our friends back over at NECA. You might have seen this on St. Patrick's Day. Fittingly, they had a Shamrock announcement. And I don't know about you guys, but I love the Toonie Terrors line. If you don't know what it is, the Toonie Terrors line, and I've got two Michael Myers Toonie Terrors, as well as the Sam Toonie Terrors by NECA. I didn't bring them down here. Wasn't planning that far ahead, sorry. But but anyway, the Toonie Terrors, they basically are made to look like, they call them Saturday morning cartoon villains. That's because they can't say the words Scooby Doo, but it's basically Scooby Doo style villains, like our favorite horror icons done in the style of Scooby Doo cartoons, the classic Scooby Doo cartoons, and they're awesome. They're amazing. Um, One little pet peeve is that NECA totally kind of copied our friend Travis and IB Trav Illustrations. A lot of you guys know he was doing these type of he called it Lost Mysteries, the Lost Mysteries of Mystery Inc. and the Scooby Doo gang, and he would always incorporate and do these great pieces of artwork for years, and NECA kind of took that idea and ran with it. But I gotta say, they have turned out great, and they're a fun line. You know, it's again, it's kind of like you know, whereas the 3 3/4 are not meant to be extremely movie accurate. These two, they're meant to not be movie accurate. That's the whole thing. They're meant to take these guys and transform them into almost cartoon form. So, of course, on St. Patrick's Day, very fittingly, they announced a upcoming 3-pack, which I'm absolutely gonna have to own. Look at these guys. All 3 of the Silver Shamrock trick-or-treaters. I mean, yeah, they've got their trick-or-treat bags. They're each wearing their masks. Look at that. You can even recreate the iconic scene in the movie. I'm definitely going to have to own this 3-pack for sure. Like I said, I mean, I can't, these lines, I don't collect all Funkos. I don't collect all Ultimate series, but I do my Halloween icons, my Halloween franchise icons, and other franchises that are part of Halloween, the true icons of Halloween, be it Captain Spaulding or Sam or the Headless Horseman or any of these guys from the franchise. Yeah, those are the ones that I really gravitate to and feel like I have to own. That, and I do own most of the other horror uh, icons, modern horror icons, in some um, version, mostly in the 7-inch scale for the most part, but they're not all NECA and they're not all Ultimate series. A lot of them are actually older that I got many years ago in some cases. But I've got at least one of all of the big boys, Leatherface, Freddy, Jason, Ghostface, you name it. But when it comes to the Halloween related icons of horror, Michael Myers, obviously, Laurie Strode, obviously, anybody from the franchise. Now we're getting a lot of Silver Shamrock stuff, Loomis stuff. I need those new Loomis figures that NECA put out. But anyway, I digress. Gareth says, I have a mint inbox figure of Michael from the collection he is talking about. Oh, I'm talking about, sorry. Found it at a garage sale for a couple of bucks. Very cool. Very nice. Chad can't wait to get the Trick or Treat Studios H2 and H616 scale figures. Yes, they were recently announced. Trick or Treat also announced they are starting their own retro 3 3/4 inch scale figures starting this year. They don't have anything from the Halloween franchise announced as of yet. Obviously, the 78 license and the H2 license, they're tied up with between NECA and Fright Rags, and I would imagine NECA probably also has the H3 as well. or excuse me, Super 7 has the H2 and probably the H3 as well. Talking about the 3 3/4. I'm looking at NECA still and looking at these Toonie Terrors. But yeah, I'm gonna have to own this Toonie Terror 3-pack for sure. I love Halloween 3, and I really love the iconic Silver Shamrock Trick or Treat gang. Not the least of which because we were lucky enough to be able to interview the 3 actors that wore these masks and embodied these trick-or-treaters to an extent anyway in Halloween Kills. Our friends Gavin, Salem, and Giselle, who of course played the trick-or-treaters who scam the Johns at Myers house in HK. Another little news item I want to bring to your attention. This is not new news or breaking news by any means. This came out a while ago, but I hadn't talked about it on any of these live shows or really reported on it. So we're going to do that right now with you guys. Um, the 2022 Fangoria Chainsaw Awards nominations are out. And of course, Halloween Ends has been nominated for a few, 2 to be exact. So we're going to take a look at that and look at just a little rundown of some of the other bigger categories. And by the way, how these awards are decided is entirely up to you guys. So, again, I wasn't planning ahead on everything, but I will put a link to this down below after we're done here. And actually, I can probably put a link in the live chat in just a minute. So you'll be able to vote for your favorites in the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards 2022 edition. And you don't have much longer, actually. All of the votes have to be in by, I believe it is the end of this month. So let's go over to the awards ballot. And I will put the link to that awards ballot in the live chat right now, as a matter of fact. There we go. All right. So you guys should have that link now in the live chat. There we go. Now, here is the awards nominations ballot that it is free to fill out. And we will go over some of these categories. I probably won't go over all of them tonight, but let's go over some of the bigger categories, more notable sections here. Because again, this is our Oscars. You know what I mean? So let's go. Hey, Byron says hi, Matt. What's up, man? Happy Michael Myers Monday. In the Best Wide Release Movie category, the nominees are Malignant, Candyman, Last Night in Soho, The Night House, and A Quiet Place Part 2. In the Best Limited Release Movie category, the nominees are Come True, Hurt, In the Earth, PG, Psycho Gorman, and Werewolves Within. In the Best First Feature category, the nominees are Censor, My Heart Can't Beat Unless You Tell It To, Saint Maud, The Stylist, and The Vigil. In the Best Streaming Premiere Movie category, The Boy Behind the Door, the nominees are The Boy Behind the Door, Fear Street, 1666, Lucky, The Power, and Violation. Best International Movie, the nominees are Detention, The Feast, Lamb, The Queen of Black Magic, and Titane. For Best Series, the nominees are Brand New Cherry Flavor, Chucky, Creep Show, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and Midnight Mass. Best Documentary, the nominees are Dark Shadows and Beyond, The Jonathan Fridge Story, Mail Order Murder, and Woodlands Dark and Days Bewitched. For Best Lead Performance, the nominees are Yahya Abdul-Mateen II for Candyman, Niyama Algar for Censor, Morfydd Clark for Saint Maud, Barbara Crampton for Jacob's Wife, Rebecca Hall for The Night House, Thomasin McKenzie for Last Night in Soho, Agatha Roussel for Titane, Madeline Sims Fewer for Violation, Julia Sarah Stone for Come True, and Anya Taylor-Joy for Last Night in Soho. And for Best Supporting Performance, the nominees are Luke David Blum for Son, which of course co-stars Andy Matichek of Halloween Ends, Halloween Kills, and Halloween 2018. Great movie, by the way, if you haven't seen it. Jennifer L. for St. Maud, Laurie Fessenden for Jacob's Wife, Vincent Linden for Titane, Diana Rigg for Last Night in Soho, Bill Sage for Wrong Turn, Millicent Simmons for A Quiet Place Part 2, Jeremy T. Thomas for Antlers, and Suzanne Voss for Dementia Part 2. For Best Director, the nominees are Prano Bailey Bond for Censor, David Bruckner for The Night House, Anthony Scott Burns for Come True, Julia Ducournau for Titane, Rose Glass for Saint Maud, and Edgar Wright for Last Night in Soho. Now we're going to skip a few down here to Best Score, where the nominees are Halloween Kills, of course, composed by John Carpenter, Cody Carpenter, and Daniel Davies. All other nominees include the soundtracks for Come True by Electric Youth and Pilot Priest, The Night House by Ben Lovett, In the Earth by Clint Mansell, and Hurt by Tom Schrader and C.J. Johnson. And Halloween Ends, Christopher Nelson is nominated in the Best Makeup Effects category. He is up against Tara Brawley for Hurt, Mark Coulier for Blood Red Sky, Francois Dagenais for Spiral from the Book of Saw. I'm sorry for butchering his name worse than Jigsaw would. Orlane de Neve, sorry again, for CLSFX. I'm sorry, that's CLSFX Atelier 69 for Candisha. Other categories include Best Creature Effects, Best Costume Design, Achievement in Nonfiction, and of course, your write-in answer for Best Kill. Come on, let's try to get something from HK up in there. What do you think? And again, Fangoria is taking nominations, is taking votes on these nominations through the end of March. So let's get Halloween Kills some votes. Let's get our boys Carpenter and Nelson in there accepting some Chainsaw Awards. All right, let's see what's happening over in the live chat right now. See how everybody's doing. Andromeda says Kills got snubbed. Kills got snubbed on a few. Yeah, I probably would have had it nominated for a few others, but it's in there for a few. ProtectSafes.com is checked in. Happy Triple M, man. Thanks for being here. Excellent. Speaking of getting snubbed, and this kind of ties in with Halloween Ends a little bit, I guess, because we're going to go into some Halloween Ends talk now. As you know, the Oscars are this Sunday, and you probably don't care because, like most of us, you probably haven't seen most of the movies that are nominated. You know, it's a big old thing. I mention it on Michael Myers Monday simply because our own Jamie Lee Curtis is going to be a presenter at the Oscars this Sunday, and that's notable. I mean, it's always notable and cool to see Jamie Lee out there, but it's notable this year because if you haven't heard, there's this whole initiative that the Oscars are retooling how they've done things forever because their ratings are terrible and nobody's watching, and so they cut some of the awards out of the main show, and which is kind of ridiculous. And they're going to limit the amount of presenters now instead of having different presenters for every single award. They've already announced like the 12 or 13 set presenters for the whole night. Also, they've got 3 hosts instead of 1 or 0, as there was no host the last couple of years. So anyway, they're doing this in an effort to try to get more viewers. I don't know that that's going to work, but Jamie Lee Curtis will be there. Could there be some Halloween Ends teaser pop up during the Oscars? Of course, anything's possible. Highly doubtful. I wouldn't plan on it at all. But you know, Jamie Lee Curtis is going to be there, and she was invited for a reason. Everybody that invited her to be a part of the Oscars, this ceremony, everybody in Hollywood knows that, yeah, she's done a million things over the years, but these last few years, she's really kind of known, you know, primarily at the heart, always, you know, as Laurie Strode first and foremost. So I think we can at least expect maybe a joke or two, some acknowledgement, a shout out, some reference to Michael or the franchise when Jamie's out there. So that'll be interesting to look for. If you don't want to watch it, don't worry. I'll be here next Monday to tell you what happened. I understand if you don't want to sit through it. I'll sit through it for you. I got you. uh, let's see. Chad says Nelson all the way. Hell yes, Chris Nelson all the way. Yes. Yeah, vote HK. I mean, they're only nominated in those 2 categories. But again, the best kill is a write-in category, so you can nominate any of the kills from Halloween Kills as best kill. Maybe nominate Cameron, right? Is that pretty unanimous here that he's everybody's favorite kill in Halloween Kills, or is there another one you like better? But would that be your vote? I mean, because I think we should all get unified here tonight and decide if we're going to vote for best kill, which one we're going to write in here, right? I think it'd probably be Cameron's. I mean, it's definitely the most emotional kill of the of the uh, of the film. Well, I mean, I guess is it more? It kind of is more emotional to me than Karen. I think because Karen is just so sudden, and then the movie's over, so you're kind of stuck with that. Go home and think on that, which I like, and I am all for that. But yeah, the way Cameron's is so drawn out, and really torture Allison as much as torture him. Yeah, that. Yeah, pretty emotional and pretty brutal to say the least. Andromeda says the chick who shot herself in the neck. You mean our friend Carmela McNeil, who plays Vanessa. That's your favorite kill. You should write it in. Let's see. Patrick says, glad to see H3 getting more and more love as time goes by. Yes, H3 has been reevaluated in recent years, and thank God for that. Yeah, I love that we're getting H3 merch now. More H3 stuff out there than ever. Just more franchise merch in general than ever, but certainly more H3 merch than ever. And I love it. Andromeda says, but I'll write in Cameron to get kills a win. Yeah. All right. So you guys tell me, are we writing in Cameron or what for best kill? That's the one I vote for. I think we should all write in. Everybody that watches this should go vote in the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards and write in Cameron. Yeah, why is James Jude Courtney not nominated? I know. It was cool at last year's awards, though. I don't know if you watched it. It was pretty cool. They right after they premiered the awards on Shudder, they immediately went on Fangoria's YouTube channel. So even if you didn't have Shudder, you could watch them. And the award show was really cool. It was kind of like the horror version of the Oscars. It was all virtual, but a lot of our favorite people were there, and James was there, and he did, believe it or not, present Best Kill last year. Don't ask me what one. I can't even remember now, but Ken says, my favorite Halloween Kills kill is Big John's death scene. Nice. All right, let's talk a little bit more about Halloween Ends. First up, just a quick recap. Uh, Not that you really need it, but since our last gathering here, since last Monday, the very next day, as a matter of fact, last Tuesday, our buddy James Jude Courtney took to Instagram to, everybody is feeling that something big has ended, and it hits everybody a little bit different, and not always at the same time. And so James, they wrapped, and he got home, and a few days later, he was able to put some words out there of what this experience, not just this experience these last few weeks shooting HNs, but this experience these last 4 years since starting with 2018. And hopefully you guys have read and watched my interviews with James over the years. My very first interview was back in February of 2018, just a few weeks after they finished shooting Halloween 2018, and we covered his entire life and career up to that moment. We couldn't talk about the movie yet, obviously, but we talked about everything but the movie at that time. And he's got a great story of what led him to there. And then, of course, the last 4 years, you has been more in view of you, so you know a little bit more of what's been going on there. But but James is a great guy. We love James, of course, and he posted some nice comments on the occasion of filming of Halloween Ends wrapping. So, rather than me regurgitate what I've already said, I'm just going to play you the report that I filed here on our channel last Tuesday. It's a little bit old news for you guys, but again, this will give me a chance to take a drink, take a breath, and catch my thoughts here for just a second. And you guys can check out my report and hear what Mr. Courtney had to say about his time behind the mask in these last 3 films. The only actor to be behind the mask in 3 different films. Now, technically, Nick, he was behind the mask in the original, and he was behind the mask in 2018, and he might be behind the mask in the theatrical cut of the next one. But that James is behind the mask of these 3, for sure, and the only one who has so far that we know of. I don't know if I said that right. I might have just messed up what I was trying to say, but that's all right. You know what I mean. All right, I'm gonna stop talking for a second and let you watch. Monday. The official Rough House Pictures account, that is, of course, David Gordon Green's production company. Um, and they have this very nice message. Thank you to this scary, talented group of people. And of course, the Halloween Ends hashtag. And there is the crew of this third chapter in David Gordon Green's book of Michael Myers. You might notice this bridge looks a little bit familiar. We saw uh, on Wrap Day, Ryan Turek shared that photo, which I imagine was taken probably a few minutes after this group photo, or maybe even a few minutes right before it. And you can see that rabbit and red billboard in the background there. We'll zoom in for just a second, and there you can see over everybody's shoulders. We caught a glimpse of that in that post from Mr. Turek last week. And then I thought this was extra cool over here on the water tower. I thought this was really nice. Detail. We got the Haddonfield, Illinois water tower back there. And I have to say, too, I have to actually make sure I get it right, because numerous people corrected me that the last few days of filming was not technically in Savannah, Georgia. That was, people corrected me in the comments of my previous report that it was actually about over an hour out of Savannah in Sylvania, Georgia, apparently, is where this bridge and this location is located. And here, one of our favorites, this is from Brian Moss a few days ago. He worked on the movie in the hair and makeup, and you can see he posted a few more behind the scenes photos. As he says on Instagram, after a long drive home, thinking about this entire experience, I still can't find the words to describe how amazing it has been. Once in a lifetime, 3 times. So much love for this Halloween family. Thanks for having me, he says. And you can see a lot of familiar names there in the comments as well. Andy Matichek, Kyle Richards, Jamie Lee Curtis. And Jamie says, I need that sticker. And here's the sticker she's actually talking about. Someone give Laurie Strode a fucking break. Yeah, I think I need that sticker too. And now today, Tuesday, March 15th, James Jude Courtney, who of course plays Michael Myers, aka The Shape in Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends, has now reposted that crew photo with the following comments. Quote, it's taken a few days for me to process the abject beauty of my experience working on this trilogy. The honor of working with David Gordon Green, Jamie Lee Curtis, Chris Nelson, Ryan Turek, Emily Gunshore, Andy Matichek, Michael Simmons, and their teams, and every other single magnificently talented department, especially producers, stunts, and special effects, not to mention the rest of this incredible cast. And every single person who worked so hard to create, for me, what is on many levels the highlight of my career thus far, and more importantly, the distinct, bright moment of my life. And my friends, this Halloween Ends is a fitting goodbye for me. My deepest gratitude to all of the fans who have blessed us with your love and support. I can promise you, we did this for you. End quote. This Halloween Ends is a fitting goodbye for me. James clearly getting a little bit emotional here as it all sets in that this is the final chapter in this David Gordon Green trilogy of Halloween films. Will it be the end of Michael Myers in movies? Of course not. There'll be another iteration to come eventually, but it, by all accounts, does look like Rough House Pictures and the David Gordon Green team are wrapping up their storyline with Halloween Ends. James Jude Courtney marking the occasion today with some beautiful words of gratitude. He's always a class act, always very gracious to everybody that has made this experience mean so much to him. Let me know what you think about James' new comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss any of our with your love and okay, you don't need to hear my normal end of the thing speech before it's the real end of the thing. What's the end of the thing? The end of the video, the end of the stream. All right, so there's James' notes and thoughts on rapping. A couple interesting things there, of course, where he says, a fitting goodbye for me. Now, that doesn't, of course, mean that he couldn't return in another film. I think he is just echoing what everybody has said, is that this is the closing chapter of this particular book of Halloween. They haven't said it like that. That's the way I keep saying it. But I'm going to keep saying it like that because that's the way it is. This is this particular book of Halloween, this book of Michael Myers, if you will, David Gordon Green's book of Michael Myers. This is the third and presumably final chapter. Again, never say never in this franchise. And trust me, if this breaks records and does like 2018 box office, don't be surprised at all if the same team is back for another go around. Another interesting thing that, of course, James says in this post from last week that I loved, and I'm sure you guys picked up on, is where he says that this, my friends, Halloween ends. What did he say? He says, and my friends, this Halloween ends is a fitting goodbye for me. I mean, I think he means that in a number of ways. Knowing James, he's a smart guy. I think he means it's from his emotional standpoint. He gave his all in these films, and he feels. But I think he feels that he can. This is a good send off for him stepping off. But I think he also, probably knowing James, is well aware that he means it in another deeper sense, in a more direct meaning, in that this is going to be Michael's ultimate moment as the James Jude Courtney version of Michael. That's what I'm hearing from this. Anyway, you guys tell me what you're reading from this. All right, we're going to talk about a little bit more Halloween Ends stuff now as well. We're going to talk about a few of these new cast members, and we can't talk about very many because they've not been officially announced. A lot of this details about this movie, when you think about it, have not really been officially announced. Surprisingly, there's not even really an official synopsis at this point. We just know that this is the sequel to Halloween Kills. So that being said, we are going to have some new actors, some new characters, obviously. And again, this is just a couple that I can talk about only because they've shared things on social media that confirm their involvement. There's others that I know there's rumors and suspected people involved and all that stuff. And I'm not going to address that stuff right now. I'm just going to talk about these few that have kind of let it be known, and we're pretty sure that they did something on screen in the film. Now, what makes the final cut and how big their role is, that's anybody's guess, of course, at this point. But knowing how things worked in these last two films, I mean, if you guys have been following along and watching our interviews, like I said, we interviewed the Silver Shamrock kids, Gavin, Salem, and Giselle. We interviewed the doctor and the nurse, Marcus and Vanessa, our friends Michael Smallwood and Carmela McNeil, and they're all awesome, and they all had what are not main roles, but still important roles, and in Carmela and Michael's case, they were introduced very briefly in an almost blink and you miss it kind of few seconds in the 2018 film, and then that turns into a much bigger role for both of them and more presence in Halloween Kills and some of the most memorable stuff as well. And I loved all their stuff, especially their funnier lines. But so my point is though is that David Gordon Green often what might appear or might even be not a main character or not a central character to the story, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to be in some of the scenes that we're all talking about later on, or not. Sometimes they're not. But so let's start off first with I want to talk about Dr. Mathis and this Dr. Mathis connection to Halloween Kills. Now, I might have reported on this here on one of these lives in the past. We've not done an article about it or talked too much about uh, the Dr. Mathis character being in Halloween Ends. Of course, none of this has been officially announced yet, but just to kind of recap where we're at with this, an actor by the name of Michael O'Leary. He is known for the soap series Guiding Light, and he's been in many things over the years. A few weeks back, he tweeted that his excitement that his he had landed a role in Halloween Ends, and he was very excited about it, and that he was going to be playing a character named Dr. Mathis. And so of course, a lot of people like myself saw that and got, oh, this is cool, new cast member, new character that we're gonna meet. This is awesome. And but wouldn't you know it, within about a day or so, that tweet was gone. Now, Bloody Disgusting even picked up this story and ran with it, and we didn't really we didn't jump on it at the time. Again, what this is all going to be made official sooner or later, but I did notice that the tweet and any other mentions on his social media about the project, because a lot of people had congratulated him in response to that tweet, and he had answered and made a few other comments about the project. All of that has been removed, and nothing else has been shared on his social media. But this is the internet where nothing is ever truly gone. And so this is a screenshot of Michael O'Leary's tweet. I know it says 1 day ago. That's not factual, of course. It was tweeted last month. And he had said at that time, Halloween Ends, in all caps. I'm thrilled to announce that I'll be playing the role of Dr. Mathis in John Carpenter's iconic thriller starring Jamie Lee Curtis. Hashtag Halloween Kills, hashtag Halloween Ends, hashtag organized crime, hashtag Michael O'Leary. So, of course, all of us fans paying attention to this, I mean, this broke pretty big right away. Bloody Disgusting jumped all over it. And then obviously, Mr. O'Leary, I'm sure, realized that he was getting a little more attention for this role a little earlier than he wanted, and was getting asked some things that I'm sure he is not at liberty to answer yet. But we can answer a few things, a few tiny things, a few small things about Dr. Mathis, because this is not just a random character name. You might remember that this name is mentioned in Halloween Kills. You'll remember in the opening of the film. Actually, it's after the opening, after the flashback, when we come back in to Halloween night 2018 at Mick's Bar, and it goes in to the bar, and our friends Carmela and Michael are there, and their dialogue right off the bat is actually all about Dr. Mathis. And here they are talking about Dr. Mathis. Now, what what the line of dialogue in the movie is actually this dialogue. And there's a little bit more about this actually in the novelization that we're going to talk about. But the actual line in the movie that we hear, the first line is our friend Michael Smallwood, who plays Marcus. That's Carmela as Vanessa right there. And there's Michael as Marcus. Now, the first thing that we hear him say, before we even see them, we hear him saying, I thought it was going to be like a holiday pizza party with a bunch of co-workers, not an orgy. That's what he says. Now, in this novelization, official Halloween Kills novelization by Tim Wagner, it's got a few extra small details about this conversation, and the wording's slightly different as it is, throughout novelizations often, but the full quote in the book now that Marcus says is, "Don't be mad at me. I thought that was going to be like a holiday pizza party with a bunch of coworkers, not a," and he's about to say threesome, and then she cuts him off, and she says, like she says in the film, her same line from the film, she says, "Your vulgar ass boss acted inappropriate. You got to stand up for yourself in these situations." And she's basically telling him that he needs to go in there and kick Dr. Mathis's ass the next day. And this plays out pretty much the same at this point in the novelization. He says in the book, quote, "That's right, you're right. Stand up for myself. First thing tomorrow morning, I'm going to walk into work, quit that job, punch Mathis in the damn stomach. You got me real fired up now." End quote. And that's more or less what Marcus says in the scene. Let me, yeah. In the finished film version, Carmela as Vanessa cuts him off before he can say, "I'm going to go in there and punch him in the stomach." He says, "I'm going to go in there," and then she cuts him off and says, "And you're going to punch him in the face." And then, of course, at this point, they start getting distracted. Now, since we're curious about Dr. Mathis and Mr. Michael O'Leary's involvement in this film, we can read just a few more sentences down in this paragraph. And yes, it is made apparent in the novelization that Dr. Mathis, our buddy Marcus's boss, yeah, he had some fantasies about getting it on with these two. Basically, he invited these two to his house with the idea that he was going to have sex with them. And he's the boss. He's Marcus's boss. It's said in the book and in the finished film. And so they go there thinking it's going to be a Halloween costume party. And they go and they show up and it's just him. And apparently he's planning on the three of them getting intimate. And of course, they're not having any of that. And that leads them to Mick's Bar, where they're having this conversation right before meeting with our characters. And that's where they're a little bit already annoyed to begin with before our characters show up. And you see that play out in HK. So in the book, and another interesting thing, we saw their costumes going back to 2018. We saw them leaving for this party we know now. and he forgets his stethoscope and has to run back in, and she has this moment with Michael, and I talked to Carmela about this. If you haven't watched it, check out our interview. We actually did two great interviews with Carmela last year. Check them both out elsewhere on this channel. I urge you, if you haven't. She's amazing. She's awesome. We also were lucky enough to interview Michael as well. He's awesome. Check those interviews out if you haven't already. Lots of good stuff about them. We're gonna have to get them back on here soon as well too. It's about time to talk to them again. Uh, but so that's the background. But what it says in the book, it's actually revealed that it was Dr. Mathis that suggested their costumes, and he had told Marcus that it'll be ironic, because you are a doctor and a nurse, you'll be dressed as a doctor and a nurse, and of course it's ironic because, and as she says in the film, she says that she's the doctor and he's the nurse. And of course, their costumes are the opposite. And she's not just any nurse. Of course, it's Halloween, so any nurse costume you get, it's going to be sexy nurse. And that's what Carmela was credited as originally in 2018, sexy nurse and hunky doctor. That were their original character names. And then those characters became Vanessa and Marcus in HK. And in the HK book, they even get a last name in the book. It's Wilson. There we go. They've got a last name. So, Marcus's boss, Dr. Mathis, played by one Michael O'Leary, now in Halloween Ends, is, I don't know if I'll say a perv, but he definitely um, is not shy about his intents when it comes to his coworkers, his subordinates. And again, in the book, it's made clear that he talked Marcus into these costumes, and Marcus is thinking in the book, in this scene right here, it's being described. What's going on in his head is that he is realizing that Dr. Mathis suggested these costumes because he was most likely really just wanting to see Vanessa in a sexy nurse costume. So, does any of this come into play in Halloween Ends? Any of this backstory for Dr. Mathis? I highly doubt it. I don't think we're gonna get into that. I don't even really expect that this character will necessarily be, uh, you know, all that pivotal of a character. But then again, we look at these two. I mean, who would have thought that they were gonna these characters were gonna be as significant as they turned out to be in the sequel? So I I have to say that I really, at the end of the day, like David Gordon Green dropping these breadcrumbs throughout his films, picking it up. We know that this water tower, he dropped this water tower in HK so that it can be used and kind of be paid off in the sequel in HNs. And I do appreciate these things. I like that it's not just a random doctor, whatever he's going to do, but it is the doctor that in fact these two characters were talking about, and that in fact this novelization claims wanted to have a threesome with them. So what do you guys think about all of that? Dr. Mathis, the threesome. Was Marcus going to go in there the next day on November 1st and knock him out, kick his ass? Was that going to happen? Um, And what's up with Dr. Mathis and HNs? Is this going to be something more significant than I'm thinking? Am I wrong? Am I off here? Is this going to be like a major important character? Give me your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you're thinking on this. Let me look over here in the live chat real quick. I and again, I'm not familiar with Michael O'Leary's work. Uh, I've never seen Guiding Light. I think that's the one he's on. I'm pretty sure. But I do think that you know it's going to be interesting to see how this character pays off. Just that quick little mention, and again, just the added little details, because it is said the word orgy is said in the film, at least in the extended cut. That's the one I just listened to tonight, specifically listening to that dialogue. You guys tell me, did they change it in the theatrical, or is it exactly the same? Um, I haven't checked the theatrical specifically for that dialogue, but today, I read that chapter of the book and I wanted to directly compare their exact dialogue in that scene. Because I know Michael and Carmela, number one, I enjoy watching them work. It's a good scene. And now I knew that we wanted to talk about Dr. Mathis and kind of get to the bottom of his connections to this first movie. So that's the Dr. Mathis connection to Halloween Kills. Is there going to be more to it than that? Is any of that even going to be acknowledged in HNs? Honestly, I could see it going both ways. I could see him just being there and it never even really being fully acknowledged that he was Marcus's boss. Maybe he just walks by and you see like a plaque in loving memory of something at the hospital or something like that. Maybe it's something that simple. Um, but on the other hand, this is David Gordon Green, and again, I mean, he's surprised me with some of the things that he, laid the egg for and planted the seed for in 2018 that he picked up on with Kills. So I think there's going to be more of that with HNs. But let me know what you think. Let's see here. Where are we? I'm going to have to scroll up a little bit. Darlene says, yes, be cool to wear those paper 3D glasses again. You guys talk about 3D. Okay. Yes. Halloween 3D. Okay. Anthony Stanfield says, where did you get your t-shirt? This t-shirt, I'm giving him a lot of plugs tonight. Fright Rags. Again, this is a Fright Rags Halloween 2018 t-shirt. Thank you for noticing. I love it. I gotta say it's super comfortable. I'm not saying that because they paid me to or anything. I paid for this shirt. I paid for my HN's shirts. But I am a customer of Fright Rags. And yes, this came from Fright Rags 2018. I realized I hadn't worn this in a while. Mondays I'm always looking for like an appropriate shirt, and I don't know. I hadn't worn this one in a while, and it is one of my favorite, most comfortable ones. So thanks for asking. Adam 80s fan says I gotta buy the book. Yes, get the novelization. I tell you what, I will try to remember to put the link to that down in the description after we're done here too. That way, you can purchase through our Amazon affiliate link. And actually, there is a Amazon affiliate link in the description right now that will take you to Amazon.com. And if you go click that link and then just search for Halloween Kills novelization, you should get our recommended link to pop up right there, because we've got an associates account and that is added to our Amazon store on there. So you can find it on there, and it's super affordable. Yeah, you want to get it. I'm not done reading it, honestly, and I'm gonna do more on the differences and the added details and the Easter eggs in this book, and I think I'm gonna do the same thing for 2018 as well. I never did that for 2018. I think it's just fun, and it'll be a fun way for us to, on some of these slower weeks to count down the weeks as we get closer. But yeah, I'm enjoying finally reading it. I have read parts of it. I've read excerpts and little sections that I wanted to specifically see the differences in the movie, but I have not, read it cover to cover, and I'm in the process of doing that now. And yeah, I'm a little bit past all that stuff, the Dr. Mathis stuff now, and just getting into the good stuff. But it's definitely interesting, and I'm making notes as I go of things that I want to talk to you guys about. Some things that are just different than the movie, some things that are a little extended or expanded upon from the movie, and then just other little Easter eggs that the author Tim Wagner put in there. And he told Blade Disgusting that he put little Easter eggs from throughout the franchise, other films that even though they're not uh, part of the canon of this current timeline, there are links in there for the fans. There are things that he put in there that fans will appreciate, and some of those I've already come across. And so I'm going to be talking a lot more about this novelization as I continue to read it and as I eventually get done with it. And I'm going to do the same thing with 2018, and we're going to talk about all the kind of differences and dive into that. And then that's a whole other discussion I was thinking about today, knowing I was going to talk about this tonight, was, and I'll just throw this out there, but what is truly canon? Is the movie novelizations, is that canon? Because you guys know there's stuff in the 78 novelization, the H2, the H3, the H4, all kinds of crazy stuff in those that aren't in the movie, and kind of expand the mythology a bit. So how much do we take these as canon, or are they just kind of like alternate, almost like director's cut, extended cut type alternate versions of the story? Is that how we take it, or do we take that as canon as much as the film, because it is the official novelization? So in any case, let me know your thoughts on that. I'd love to hear from you. All right, now I'm going to move on to another new cast member that I think we can talk a little bit about. Let's see here. Am I missing anything in the live chat? Andromeda says, I'd love to see Michael pop out at me. Adam 80s fan says, what if Halloween Kills was a dream Laurie had? Yeah, I thought of some pretty wild endings like that I might reveal one day. I might just save it and write my own script one day. But I got a pretty wild ending that they can ends on and really just blow people's minds. And I think it would be good. I think most fans wouldn't be. You'd be hard pressed to argue with it. I think it's so good. I'm not sure I want to say it out loud tonight, but I'll get there. Let me fine tune it just a little bit, and you guys will be the first to know. Let's see. Garrett says you cannot make everybody happy. Do not try. Yep. Larry says Spencer's in the mall have a lot of Halloween shirts too. Yes, I've gotten a few from there. Spencer's own Spirit Halloween, and some of those show up at Spirit as well. But yeah, I've gotten a few there. Hoping that Walmart will get another $8 Halloween shirt. I finally got the purple one released last year. I never got the 78 movie poster one. Still haven't found that at a Walmart. Missed out on that one. Darlene says, cool shirt. Thanks. Appreciate it. And thanks for being here, by the way. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Bob checks in, says hi. What's up, man? Happy Michael Myers Monday. Appreciate it. All right. Let me talk about this other cast member. And again, this I don't want to make it like this is huge breaking news or anything, but it's just fun to see some of the behind the scenes stuff and see people that worked on it. And you guys know, I mean, we look at this entire family of people that create these films. I mean, obviously the actors, the people in front of the screen are the people that get most of the credit and most of the attention, and understandably so. But there's so many people involved, and I've loved talking to people. Like last year, we talked to Douglas Tate, Rachel Hoffpower, stunt doubles that worked on the film. Judy Greer stunt double and James's stunt double, and I love talking to all levels of the film production. And so here, what we have here is another cast member, I guess we'll say. She was a stand-in for Andy. Well, let's just go over to her post. And this is Emily Brinks, and she posted a few days ago on her Instagram her own farewell notice about Halloween Ends. She said Halloween Ends has finally come to an end. We finished filming yesterday, and I can't thank this crew enough for all of their hard work. So thankful to spend the beginning of my year surrounded by these creative minds and excited to see our work come to life this fall. Thank you to David Gordon Green, Attila, Blumhouse crew, Jamie, Andy, Rowan, and so many other freaking amazing people. Love you guys. And then down below after her hashtag, she says, Rowan and I found the junkyard cat on one of our sets, and we were proud enough to take way too many pictures with it. Enjoy. Um, so you might be wondering, who is Emily Brinks? And who is she in relation to Halloween Ends? Well, we were wondering that too. And as you can see, somebody asked her in the comments of this post, are you cast in the movie? And she answered, yeah, I mainly worked as Andy's excuse me, let me start over. She says, quote, yeah, I mainly worked as Andy's stand-in, but I'm also a character that I don't think I can say much about without spoiling anything, end quote. So, right there. Now, I don't know if you know what a stand-in is. If you don't know, stand-ins for these productions that's what they do. They literally stand in for the actors while the crew is doing various setups, setting up the lights, setting up the camera angles, getting everything set up. So she'll stand there where Andy's going to stand until it's time to actually shoot and call action, and then Andy comes and stands where Emily has been standing in for her, and they say action, and they go. Now, as I was mentioning, David Gordon Green, it's not surprising to me that he gave Emily a character role after seeing her work as Andy's stand-in. That she's an actress, obviously, but this sounds like David Gordon Green. If you again watch some of those interviews with some of the cast members from HK we talked to, many of them, things they started off in something in some kind of role they thought was going to be this, maybe in a smaller capacity than what it turned out to be, and then it became something else almost on the day in a lot of cases. And we heard about this a lot from a lot of the people we talked to. That's kind of the way David Gordon Green seems to work. So so she's also going to play a character on screen, so that's great. How big of a role Emily's going to have in this thing, who knows? It could be something very small. Now, I'll warn you, if you go to IMDb and you look under Halloween Ends and you look under cast, her name is currently there. And I'm not going to tell you what it says for the character. It doesn't say a name, but it says a description. And I'm not going to say that just because it could be seen as spoilery. And you can look it up if you want. And again, that may or may not even be accurate because, as you know, IMDb can be changed. Anybody with an IMDb Pro account can go in any time and change anything they want on IMDb. So, but nonetheless, she's listed there. She says here publicly and proudly, I might add, and rightfully so, that yes, she worked as Andy stand-in, but was also a character that she can't say much about. Now, let's also talk just a minute about Rowan. She mentions Rowan, and this is the other gentleman in this picture, Rowan Campbell. Now, I'm not too familiar with Rowan Campbell's work. I don't know a lot about him, but I know that his name came to my attention recently thanks to another photo that was posted from the set. Some of you may remember this image that Jamie Lee Curtis shared from the set before she left, before she wrapped her filming her scenes. There she is with Andy Matichek. And I asked at the time who the gentleman with them in the photo is. And we still haven't gotten 100% positive confirmation, but some of you out there were gracious enough to clue me in that he is thought to be an actor named Rowan Campbell. And sure enough, he appears to be this actor. Again, I can't 100% confirm it right now, but what I can confirm is that Rowan Campbell worked on the set of Halloween Ends. As you can see, Emily was there with him, and he's there. You know, he's follows all the same people uh, involved in the production. He's liked all of the rap photos. They all follow him. People like Christopher Nelson follow him. So again, I mean, he might be a stand-in as well. He might have a more significant role. I can't say any of that right now. It's just another name you're going to want to pay attention to, and another face that we're probably going to be seeing more of as more details about Halloween Ends start to kind of slowly filter out. Gareth says, "Night, night, Jordy. The sun will be coming up soon." Yeah. Okay, Jordy is got to go to bed 4 a.m. Yeah. And I said I was only going to be on here an hour. I do this every damn week, y'all. I swear. I get yapping. But yeah, it's already after midnight. It's already Terrifier Tuesday here in the states, man. So, but yeah, get some sleep, Jordy. Come back, watch the end that you missed tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in all the way from England. That is fucking fabulous. Halloween Ends updates is out too. All right, man. Have a good one. All right, Chad. I know you got to work in the morning, man. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Thanks for tuning in, bro. Yep, definitely glad you were able to be here. All right, and one more. I guess we could call him a cast member again. It's hard to even know exactly how to define these people, but definitely worked on the film, and it sounds like did some on-screen work as well. And his name is Corey DeMyers. I know, fitting last name to work on a Halloween movie, right? Well, Corey, last week, since our last live broadcast, he shared this post from Roughhouse Pictures. This is, of course, the rap photo that Roughhouse shared on Instagram. Well, he reposted it. Corey DeMyers did. And in the caption, he says, quote, "What an awesome experience. Thank you, Kevin C. Scott, for another wild adventure. The opportunity to coordinate and grow as well as perform in a few iconic spots. I can't wait to see this film. Shout out to our entire stunt department that absolutely killed it." Okay, so Corey DeMyers, again, a quick little background check, and also a shout out to Corey because he also, after we started following him on Instagram, he followed us back, so we knew he's one of us for sure. So we appreciate that. But yeah, you can look up Corey on IMDb and see that he is part of the stunt team, stunt department. Again, IMDb is can mean anything and can be changed, but in this case, it certainly makes sense. In this case, it certainly makes sense. Uh, when you look at his prior work and the other stuff that he has done in his career thus far, also he is thinking Kevin Scott. He is listed as um, an assistant director for the film. So this appears to be part of our stunt team. Very interesting, though, when he says the opportunity to coordinate, because again, we can refer back to the IMDb page, and not that I would trust everything on IMDb, but I do find it interesting that Corey is listed as one of 2 stunt coordinators. Actually, you can see that both Corey and Kevin Scott are listed as stunt coordinators. Very interesting. Aaron Armstrong was a coordinator for the previous film. Ron Hutchinson was the coordinator for the Halloween 2018 film. So this is Corey's post, and I do find it very interesting that he says he says the opportunity to coordinate and grow, as well as perform in a few iconic spots. Now that makes me suspicious. It makes it sound like maybe Corey got to get behind the mask for a second or two. Again, we talked to my buddy Douglas Tate, and even just the opportunity to double for James, even just for scenes that make up a matter of blink and you miss seconds in the film, in the quick cuts. It just meant so much to Douglas, and it was a lifelong dream of his, because he's a fan of the franchise as we are. So this might be something similar with Corey. It might not even be that he was, you know, in the mask himself. It might be that he was in a scene with James. You know what I mean? It might be that he was performing in an iconic spot, maybe as one of the victims. In any case, Corey DeMeyers, somebody that we're gonna want to get to know and follow their story along and learn more about here soon. All right, so that's some of the new blood that is going to be showing up in Haddonfield. Um, yeah, yeah. So let me know. Let me know what you think in the comments, in the live chat. Let me know what you think about this new blood arriving in Haddonfield. Are these guys gonna be on screen much? Let me know what you think. What do you think about Dr. Mathis? The ties to HK? Is any of that gonna play out? Is he just gonna be a blink and you miss it? Is he gonna be a significant character? I'd love to hear your thoughts. As well as what you think some of these other performers might be up to in the film and how they might be featured. All right, let's turn back over to the live chat before we do shout outs. And then I'm going to get out of here. Jordy says I can't switch this off and need to. I'm so sorry, man. Oh my gosh, the sun is seriously going to come up on you. I'm flattered that you were so that you can't turn it off, but yeah, I'll try to talk faster and wrap it up quicker. I really didn't plan to be on here this long, but then I say that every week, and I mean it every week. I never plan on being on this long, but here we are nonetheless. Let's see. Andromeda says, I hope Doug Tate gets to do a main role one day as a major character for a full film. Yeah. Yeah, he would make a great Michael still, down the road at some point, I believe. You know, Andromeda says Mathis was in it with Sartain on keeping Michael insane, I think. That's a good theory. I kind of like that. What else you guys thinking? Gareth says they need to do a prequel that explores what made Michael become the Shape. It seems like a form of possession that could only happen on Halloween night. Well, I've said, and this isn't my great idea of how to end everything, but my great idea of how to do a TV series. I've said many times here, many Monday nights. They got it made. You do the young Loomis, set it in Smith's Grove. I'd tell it kind of similar to how they told the Bates Motel story in TV form, where it was kind of a remix of the story that we know. But you've got 15 years of time that nobody's really played with. I mean, Rob Zombie played with it a little bit, but even he barely, he hit some highlights along the road. But other than that, nobody's ever messed with those 15 years of Michael being in Smith's Grove. And to me, the way to do a Smith's Grove series, a Halloween universe series, would be set it in Smith's Grove, probably call it Smith's Grove. Let your main character be Loomis, a younger Loomis, and but don't make it about Michael. Don't make it about Michael. Let Michael's presence be felt constantly, every episode. Let him be talked about. Let him be mentioned. Let him be seen just barely every now and then. You know what I mean? But don't make it about him. Make it about Loomis and all of the other crazy people, and maybe sometimes not so crazy people that end up in Smith's Grove and the stuff that goes on there. And you could have other Halloween nights. I mean, there's 15 of them over the years. There's 15 Halloween nights. You could do every season of Smith's Grove and have it take place around fall time and incorporate a Halloween in each season. It wouldn't be Michael's Halloween necessarily, but and Michael would be there, and he'd always be this lurking threat in the back, but he'd be the Shape. He'd be not really seen, but felt, and maybe just barely seen sometimes in the shadows. Very much the Shape, but don't make it about him. Is the key. That's the way to do the series, if you ask me. I'm ready to sign up for that right now and put it on HBO Max, man. Let HBO do it. Of course, I guess it would have to be Peacock though, because it's a Universal NBC Universal product. So I guess it would have to be Peacock. But yeah, I'd say put it on a streaming service where they can be rated R with it and they can really just do it right. Um, yeah, I'd be there for that. I'd be totally down for that. Of course, then we got to cast it. Who's the perfect young Loomis? That's a great question to ponder. You guys, let me know what you think. I'm not gonna go there tonight. I'll think about that for another night. But you guys think about it and drop your comments of who should play young Loomis if there was ever a TV show, a Smith's Grove show, in the live chat or in the comments if you're watching this later. Protect Safes disagrees. He says no, the show should be about Michael. I see. I'd say keep it not about Michael, because I think Michael would be the constant. Like he'd be the same every week, not doing anything, not just sitting there staring. Let it be during that time when he's just sitting there staring, barely ever doing anything. But maybe give us little hints here and there that he's not completely inactive and incoherent throughout that 15 years. Or you can make it all about him, and then that'd be a whole other kind of show. But I'd say really dive into the Loomis character and really get into his mind and how his obsession with Michael and maybe his own perceived failures with Michael color his mind and how he treats other patients. Brad says, I think it would be cool if Allison survives H ends to have a new story with Allison in it a year or two after H ends. I could see that. Very possible. Like I said, man, I mean, I have no doubt that everybody means what they say, that this is the end of this story, but I mean, you guys know, money talks. Nothing talks in Hollywood louder than money. So the bottom line is, I mean, if this movie does all right, yeah, that's fine and good. If it does as well as HK, which HK did great, especially considering it was still not all theaters open, still a pandemic, still, and also it was a day and date release with streaming on Peacock. Still did great, made a ton of money. But if this does that well or like better than that, like close to 2018 numbers, there's no way Universal and Blumhouse. I mean, Jason Blum is a businessman more than anything, and he's a good one. And yeah, I mean, he knows a good thing when he's got it. And if this, if it tapers off a little bit down from HK, then yeah, we'll probably have a few years of hiatus, and who knows what will happen. But man, yeah, let's put it this way: if HNs came out swinging and broke records the way 2018 did, let's say it had an opening weekend the way 2018 did, I would go so far as to say I bet you they announce a sequel with before the end of October. Now, I don't think it's gonna make that much money out the gate like 2018 did. I hope it does. I'm wishing for it, hoping for it. I'm hoping for the best. More successful the movie is, the more movies they're gonna make. Bottom line, more merch they're gonna put out, the sooner we're gonna be to that video game we all want to see. It's at the same time, if it were to bomb, like the undisputed financial bomb, well, then I think it's way more likely that we get a TV series that doesn't focus as much on Michael Myers in about 4 or 5 years, which we might get anyway. But maybe if it was successful, it'd be not 4 or 5 years, but more like 1 or 2 years down the road. All right, that's enough of that speculation for now. I am going to go now over to Triple M shoutouts. You guys know what this is about. I do this every week. We pick out a couple posts from Instagram and Twitter that use the Michael Myers Monday hashtag, which we started in 2013 for this reason, just to celebrate Michael Myers and this fandom and this franchise. And that's why I started doing these lives on Monday nights, because I'm like, well, we gotta carry the hashtag over to YouTube now and make it more than just posting and using a hashtag. Let's really make it a gathering thing. And that's what these lives have been. That's the whole idea. I mean, YouTube says that more of our subscribers and viewers are online earlier in the day on Monday. So I'd probably get a lot more views on here if we started these things at like 7:30 or 6:30 or 5:30 in the evening. And maybe we will at some point. During the season, we definitely will be doing some lives earlier in the day. But as I've said more, I kind of like the 10:31. It started off just because that sounds cool, 10:31. But now I do kind of like the fact that kind of a late night show, at least over here on the East Coast. I'm sorry we're so late in England, Jordy. Yeah, I do apologize for that. But for everybody that's got to work tomorrow, and I do appreciate you being here. But yeah, maybe we will do some earlier times. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. Let's go over to Twitter here. This is from Robert Mundy, WWAR. Many of you may have seen Sheriff Ben Meeker was trying to get into the Michael Myers Monday, get in on it himself today. He says, forget Michael Myers Monday from now on, it's Meeker Monday. Now you understand, don't you? So I retweeted that, of course. And then here, Robert Mundy, the reporter from Halloween Verse, says, Merry Monday morning, Halloween Verse. A new mandate may move Michael Myers Monday to Meeker Monday, but many may be mumbling mad, calling it a miserable mystery and monstrosity brought to you by the letter M. Holy hell, that's awesome. I love it. Follow the Halloween Verse. They are parody accounts of every single character you could imagine. And look, I love Sheriff Meeker and all, and I'm all for some Meeker Monday. But I mean, come on, Meeker Monday. We'll support it, but we're not gonna. It's never gonna compete with Michael Myers Monday. Now, come on, call me biased, but also from Twitter, this one comes. Oh, where'd that go? Where'd it go? I don't know where that one just went. Well, I don't know. Oh, here they are. Yes, this ad. This is from Winona Simmons on Twitter. A vintage Halloween 2 ad, and I've just never seen this ad. I've seen a lot of vintage newspaper ads for this franchise, but this is a weird one, man. This is from an 8 p.m. showing on KNX the TV 15. He's back. Halloween 2. Can't kill the boogeyman. I love how they spelled boogeyman like I'm your boogeyman, like this boogie woogie. Of course, none of us spell it the way it was spelled in Carpenter Hill's original script. That's another story. Also from Twitter, this is from at Jamello Dub 91. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Yesterday was my birthday, and my girlfriend celebrated it in a big way. If you are a fan of Halloween movies, you'll understand the reference of how old I turned. Now, I couldn't figure out how old they turned. Maybe 17 if it's an H2O thing. I don't know. But there we go. I love that cake. I know that. Yeah, girlfriend Jacqueline gets major Michael Myers Monday points for that kick-ass birthday cake. I love it. And happy birthday and happy Michael Myers Monday. Moving over to Instagram, I shared this because it is some cool fan art. This is from Watch Horror Films. It was the Boogeyman. They say Halloween ends concept poster art for the final chapter of David Gordon Green's trilogy. And I really like this idea of kind of the blood tears harkening back to the original H2, but bleeding down out of the left eye to bleed into the word ends. Kind of a cool concept. Speaking of which, off the subject a little bit, but back on this, yeah, there's a cool little detail that wasn't in the movie of Michael's look that I'll talk about more some other time. But Tim Wagner has him having a blood tear, basically, a streak of blood coming down his injured eye in the 78 flashbacks that we didn't see in that scene. We saw that nice clean white mask, and but it was kind of like a little ode to H2, and it sounds like a really cool visual the way it's described in the book. Again, topic for another night, another Monday, but something else really cool in here that worth discussing. Back to the shout outs for just a sec. Almost done, guys. Appreciate y'all sticking it out with me tonight. And this is from Mr. Dark Shape. The day we came back to Haddonfield, he says, and look at all these Myers and Jamie Lloyd. Well, no, that's not Jamie Lloyd. That is a young Michael. Excuse me. I thought it was Jamie Lloyd in the back, but it's totally young Michael. Yeah, we got, 2, 4, 6 adult Michaels and a young Michael Myers all here. Looks like they are at the actual Myers house, too, in Pasadena. Pretty damn cool. Another one from Instagram. Oh, we had to share this. This is posted by Cider and Eggnog. A Michael Myers Monday bath. And looks like they've got the bath bomb shaped like the shape. And our friend Dag Ferrick, of course, young Michael Myers in Halloween 07. He's always sharing good content on Michael Myers Monday. And here, I'll let you hear a little bit of this. This is actually one of his tracks. It's called Sickness. Here, you can check out just a little bit of Dig's track.
I'm sick as fuck, dog. I'ma need a doc. I'm sick as fuck. I'm sick as fuck, dog. I'ma need a doc. I'm sick as fuck, dog. I'ma need a doc.
And Dig's co-star from Halloween 07, and of course Michael from Halloween 2, 2009, our buddy Tyler Mane. He rarely misses a Michael Myers Monday, and we love him for it. On Instagram, Tyler says, anybody else wake up on Monday and stare down the week like you're looking into oncoming headlights? Yeah, me too. Well, let's go get them, everybody. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. People have taken this Michael Myers Monday hashtag and they make it whatever they need it to be for them. And it's been great in that way. And sometimes Monday can attack you and end your weekend the way Myers sneaks up and attacks you. Monday can sneak up on you, but sometimes you can take it as inspiration, like Tyler is today, and you can take it that you are going to attack Monday and attack this week, like Michael Myers attacking some oncoming headlights. Almost said headlights. Some oncoming headlights. I said it again. Some oncoming headlights. Oh my god. All right. Yeah. It is time to wrap it up, you guys. Unbelievable. We've been doing this for over 2 hours now. What the hell? On a no news night, too. I can't believe we're still here. But thank you. Thank you all for still being here. I appreciate it. This has been fun, as always. I look forward to this every week. You guys make it worth it. We don't get huge numbers on these lives. A lot of people do find them later because we are late, and I get that. And I know we can change the time and maybe even do other days of the week, and we will do some more of that. We did some last year, and certainly as the season gets pushed in and bigger stories are happening, not just with this franchise, but just bigger Halloween stories. As the season really starts kicking in, we'll be doing other lives other than just the 10/31 Michael Myers Monday slot. But this is the Triple M slot now, I feel like, and don't really want to change that too much. Although there might be some special occasions when we do. All that being said, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I would really appreciate that, and that way you don't miss any of our live streams, whether they're on Monday or otherwise, or any of our other content. I try to upload articles pretty much daily. We're Halloween Daily News. That's because Halloween's every day. And, we have articles every day on the website, and we do video versions of those articles and video companion reports and a lot of video exclusive stuff here for the channel all the time, every day. So subscribe, turn on the notification so you don't miss any of that. Non-franchise related, but just a heads up, tomorrow we are dropping a brand new exclusive interview with Scott Morris. He is the son of Philip and Amy Morris, founders of Morris Costumes. They were doing ghost shows back in the 40s and 50s. They are Halloween industry pioneers. They were the first ones to sell artificial spider webs for Halloween. They were the first ones ever to license the Batman character. The most famous Bigfoot video that we've all seen, you know it, you've seen it, the Patterson video, the famous one. That was one of their gorilla costumes. Yeah, one of the Morris gorilla costumes. All these stories and more are going to be part of this epic conversation with Scott Morris. It's dropping tomorrow. It's a fun interview. Again, it doesn't have to do with movies or any of that. It has to do with the history of Halloween itself. But I urge you guys check it out. Following that, later on this week, we've got a walkthrough of Morris's corporate headquarters in Charlotte, North Carolina, including all kinds of old vintage advertisements, posters for a lot of his parents' ghost shows and attractions and events that they put on back in the day. You're not going to want to miss that. And then we got exclusive access to the warehouse, the massive, oh my God, is it massive, 300,000 square foot warehouse. It looks like an Amazon warehouse, except it's nothing but Halloween stuff, decorations, costumes, masks, all of it, spider webs. And then our third video in our celebration of all things Morris Costumes this week, we got a walkthrough of their flagship retail store, also located in Charlotte, North Carolina. So all that's coming your way this week, plus whatever breaking news, whatever news happens tomorrow, the next day. I'll be back on here to update you on that. And but you can always get it first and fastest at HalloweenDailyNews.com. I don't mention that enough here on the Mondays, probably, but you know, our articles do hit the site typically first, then the video companion will come. And I appreciate you checking out both. But if you want it the most timely way, you want to go to our main site and just subscribe to that, and then you're going to get all of our articles and all of our stories sent right to your inbox the second we hit the publish button. All right, guys, this has been crazy. Again, I thought I'd be done about an hour ago, but yeah, here we are. Hopefully, hopefully I didn't bore you. If you're still here, I guess I didn't bore all of you. But subscribe to the channel. Throw this video a like if you don't mind. Drop us a comment down below. That helps too. The algorithms and all that good stuff. Just to say hi or whatever. Or if you got a comment or question, and we'll try to get to it next time. Yeah, shoot us some more feedback. People that from the franchise or otherwise that you'd like us to reach out to and try to get on here to interview. We'd love to hear that. Other stuff that you'd like to see on here, features, let me hear from you. Maybe we can make it happen. Maybe we can. But in any case, I'd love to hear from you. So don't be shy. Drop us a comment down below. And be sure to tune in next Monday, for the next Michael Myers Monday live broadcast, where we will be geeking out like we always do for probably another 2 hours. Hopefully not. But all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. You guys rock. I love you all. Thank you for being here. I'm Matt Arts for Halloween Daily News. Thank you so much for watching, and happy Michael Myers Monday.